It helps people to think about. So I'm the only one apart from Elon. Elon and I kind of signed both letters. So there was a minimum viable letter, which is we should treat this as big a issue as climate or pandemic, and then there was a more involved letter. And so the more involved letter came first, and then led to the second letter that was like something everyone could agree on.
Mm.
Um, I think the thing we should look at is again the example I give to everyone who's listening to this. How would your life, your society, your community, your business change if you had infinite graduates?
Can we say infinite smart people? There's something about
Infinite smart, okay,
graduates that
infinite
trips
smart
me up.
people. Yeah, like again, infinite smart people,
Hmm.
infinite talented young people, shall we
Yep.
say? And they can draw, they can
Why
code,
do they
they
have to be
can write.
young? Because they're not wise
They're not
yet?
wise yet.
Got it? Okay.
So when you talk about hallucinations, think about it in terms of post hoc rationalization.
Mm.
You know, when you have a very smart young person, they just make something up
Or old
sometimes,
person. Dude,
or old person,
people are so blind to their own
but they
motivations.
don't have experience.
Got it.
They're just fresh out. They're a bit rough around the edges.
Whip
Again,
it smart, but
whip it
not
smart,
wise.
yeah. So, you know, mile wide, not too deep, but actually surprisingly deep, right? How would it impact your life personally, your community, your society, and others? Because that's actually a good framing, I think, for thinking about the disruption that will come and the potential that will come.
Mm.
So, what we just said about education and all that, that's again your army of analysts, you know, your army of teachers. You can give personalized teachers, personalized medicine, personalized everything
Mm.
because we've learned to scale humans. And the scaling of humans is first the scaling of human expertise being available to everyone. And the other part is bringing people together.
Yep.
And so the pause is partially to that, but partially because we need to widen the conversation because I don't know how we get rid of many of these bad externalities, and neither does anybody else. But most people, even now, aren't asking the right questions. Something we discussed earlier. We have to figure out what questions we need to answer and how we're going to answer them and create systems that can adapt to whatever craziness. Because I would not be surprised to see riots at the same time as I would not be surprised to see everyone super happy. There is such a divergence of things that the only thing that I'm sure about is that everything's going to change.
Mm.
And the only thing I'm sure about is that this is the biggest change that we've ever seen faster than anything, and maybe humanity has ever seen at this pace that's going to happen. Because it's the core of what makes a human telling stories, information flow. And that's changed forever. So that's why I was like, let's pay attention to this now. Let's broaden the discussion. Let's ask hard questions. Let's try and answer hard questions because we don't have answers. And this is the only time you can do it because, like I said, right now, everyone's getting ready for the next generation supercomputers. They hit at the end of the year the next year. And then you go from 2, 3 companies that can build these models to 20, 30. And you go to 200, 300. And so if you don't have some principles in place, then these models will affect every part of your life without you being part of that discussion. I don't think that's right.
All right, we got to tune up your questions a bit here, Imad. That was loose.
Is this
What is the hardest question that we need to ask? Let's ask and answer right now.
the hardest
Here we go.
question I think we need to ask is how will we adapt to potential wide scale job loss?
Yes. Okay. So how would we actually think through that problem? So job loss for me, for the sake of this argument, I think it's worth saying there are two components to that. Component number one is going to be there is potential economic catastrophe in job loss, but so that we can simplify the problem set, since this ultimately is a podcast and not a congressional
Yeah.
hearing, I will assume that whatever decline we have from just the sheer number of people working, we make up for in productivity,
Yes.
and that we're able to
Keep an economic surplus.
dividends.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're able to help people. And off camera, we were talking about something like that. So let's just pretend that those balance out. So not going to deal with the economic potential there. But meaning and purpose, I think that one gets really problematic. But we have an amazing tool at our disposal, which is AI. Now, I have a feeling as we chase this down, the only thing that we have to worry about, really truly, I think it all really does boil down to alignment. If we knew that we could just keep making it smarter and having the AI like taking readings so that I can't fake it out, I can't pretend that I'm happy, it like really knows where I'm at. And then it can start putting things before me, connecting me with other people like, oh, you know this skill, this person's in need. Let me put you guys together. And then you can have sort of the AI
Mm.
supervision, but they're there, they're helping each other out, they're connecting. The only reason I don't think that's a panacea is I worry that as we make this thing smarter and smarter, that then it's like you said, I'm bored. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, and it's this concept of all watched over by machines of loving grace, right?
And that's
Well,
scary, you're saying?
who knows? Like, once we build something that's more capable than us, all bets are off. The only way to perfectly align a system is to remove its freedom. I mean,
I'd say it's not aligned at all at that point.
well, this is the
At that
thing.
point, you've bypassed alignment and you've gone straight to shackles.
You've gone to shackles. So if we all know people more capable than us. The
Yeah.
only way to perfectly align them is to shackle them. You can have imperfect alignment, though.
That's enslavement, man. That's not
It is.
that's not alignment. So is that because so what I heard you just say is there is no way to align something smarter than us.
I don't think there's a
You
way
can
to out.
enslave them,
I
but you
don't think.
can't align
I
them.
don't think there's a way to align the outputs. I think that you can align the inputs. You raise it right.
Okay, let me run an idea by you. This is probably Pollyanna